morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everybody? Welcome to another episode of Roll Around, Find Out. In today's episode, we're going to do a little warm up talking about just some very, very quick things that have piqued my interest, but the overwhelming majority is going to be on this PDF that I forgot that I had about what they call grim setting, a micro grim setting called Willow. And I don't remember buying this. I think it came in a big bundle of something, but I was looking over it and I thought, I told myself I wanted to go over some more settings, and I think this is a pretty incredible one. All right, but bouncing around, here is my drive-through RPG publisher page. Since January 1st, it goes over how many of my products have sold and what they have sold for. And since January 1st, I have made a whopping $3. After Drive-Thru RPG have taken their cut, I have made a $1.95. But I do not care about the money. Every single one of them is pay what you want. And I'm not looking to make money on any of these. They were more an exercise in design and a creative outlet for me. However, for me personally, what I'm most excited about is since January 1st, my things have been downloaded 96 times. That's pretty amazing to me. I'm almost at 100. I'll probably get that next month. And going over these, I went over, just me personally, I looked at my Dragon Fighter business card RPG, and I thought, man, yeah, I did a pretty good job with that. I liked that. Roll them and score them. I don't think anybody would necessarily play that at a table, but for me, that was a creative exercise on how I could use Yahtzee as a TTRPG mechanic, and I think I stuck the landing on that. I think that's pretty sweet. And then my first one that I spent probably a good 3-4 months working on was my hack of Knave, turning it into a roll under system, which isn't that difficult, but I added a skill system of sorts, or a leveling up system, because Knave, they do level up, hit points level up, but you kind of only relying on your gear. And I mentioned this in the episode that I talked about it. The gist of it is, well, what if your GM isn't quite getting the hint that, like, you're an assassin and you want, special knives or sneaky boots. You just get gold and there aren't things available, and maybe you can craft, maybe there is no crafting, it's kind of up in the air. So I give a whole system of like novice, I forget the exact terms now, but novice, intermediate, and advanced. Basically, I think it's apprenticeship and journeyman, I think. And so there are like sword fighting skills, and there's a novice ability where you get like an extra D4 of damage. You get an intermediate skill, which might be just a D6 bonus, and then if you trained, you've leveled up, then you get the journeyman bonus of like an extra attack plus extra damage, things like that. And I think that turned out pretty nice. That's got my most downloads, at least for the month of May so far, at 7. That's kind of a spike. It had been trailing off, and so I wonder if one person had downloaded it and then told his players to download it. I don't know. I'd love feedback on that. But just kind of interesting. Again, I don't do it for the money. $3, whoop-de-doo. I'll just end up using that to buy something else that I'm interested on here. All right, real quick. You should publish something on DriveThruRPG. If you're listening to this, chances are you're nerd enough that you've got some idea in your brain that you should get down on paper, digitally, and upload it to DriveThruRPG. Incredibly simple process to publish. Reach out to me and I'll even help you with it. Okay. Now, I believe it was in Hodgepodge number 4. I had talked about Kickstarter things that I had backed, and I said, you know what, if there's a sale going around, or I come across some extra birthday money, I'm gonna buy the hard copy of Cries of the Underworld. And I have the first book. This is like part 2. There's some overlap. I'm like, okay. I think I kickstarted for $9 for the PDF, but him and Han up until the end. Do I get the hardcover? I want matching set. Blah, blah, blah. Go listen to Hodgepodge number 4. Anyways, I hope this loads. I got an email yesterday from Eric Bloat that said, hey, we had, here we go. We had an error in our print copies, which I knew about. I think I talked about. Here we go. Printing error way back in April 30th. And they said, hey, we got a printing error. I have to order new books, and it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks, essentially, to get the new copies. Okay. So I said, all right, well, I didn't get the physical copy, so it doesn't really matter to me, but I'm still hemming and hawing. Well, literally just a couple days after I talked about it, he's having a sale. You get a hardcover and a zine softcover for $25. I believe the original one was $40, so I'm saving $15. Even though I spent $9 on the PDF, I'm saving $5, but whatever. The opportunity came up that I was like, well, you know what? If I can get one, I'm going to get one. And the only problem is that the print error, the index, it's kind of like a monster manual. Every monster is on page 88. All right. So if I really cared, I could Sharpie in the actual pages that they're in. Probably won't do that. Definitely won't do that. Nah, I probably won't do that because maybe I will. But yeah, sure, save a couple bucks for this print error copy, and I get a hardcover and softcover. Only need one of them, but maybe I'll give it to somebody else. Give it to a student or something. Save a couple bucks. Heck yeah, all about it. So I just thought that was really funny. I'm like, it wouldn't take much for me to buy it, and sure enough, I bought it. Okay. Super random, but at the time of recording this, May 14th, 10 o'clock at night, Critical Role, which I don't really watch, but I'm a fan of, and I like to stay up to date. They are running a one-shot for Daggerheart. I'm pretty pumped on Daggerheart. Go back, listen to my episode on that. I'm not going to watch this live because I'm recording right now. Maybe I'll go back. It's actually been quite a while since I've watched a Critical Role episode. But for a one-shot and running Daggerheart, I'd be pretty interested in this. So when it's over, I'll put it in my to-do category. Okay, so talking about... We'll dive on in here to the main topic of settings. And just doing some prep work for this. Here is Faerun, the entire world of Dungeons and Dragons. When you play Dungeons and Dragons, hopefully it's in some homebrew setting, or not even Dungeons and Dragons, whatever system you want to play. Hopefully it's in some homebrew system. However, number one in the hobby, obviously Dungeons and Dragons, and to me, as a relative novice, We have all of this land all around here. However, like 90%, if not higher, I won't even go all the way down here. Take place right along here in the Sword Coast. Maybe Sword Coast dips all the way down here. I don't know, but it's like here. And when we zoom in, there's Waterdeep. Yep. Let's see. Lizard Marsh, which I believe is what is it? Saltwater Marsh from the anthology book that D&D put out. There's Baldur's Gate, and looking at this, it's not on the map, but when I played Lost Mine of Phandelver, I believe Phandalin is not on the map, but it is essentially right here. It starts out with an adventure, a kidnapping along this road, and the person that you're looking for gets kidnapped, and they go like somewhere in this forest, and then you end up going to Phandalin, and that's where most of the adventure takes place. So, but looking around from the D&D movie, here's Thay, and there's the Thay Wizards from here. I know nothing about Thay. The Jungle Adventure, not Tomb of Horrors, but Tomb of Horrors might take place in the same area. I believe is down here in the jungles. Might be the Black Jungles. So there's definitely adventures that are scattered throughout, but this map in particular is by John Novick. I guess that's how it goes. It's all hexed out. When you zoom in, it's just a little blurry, but you can read everything just fine. Yearling, Toporin, Lake Turlag. And you know what? More power to anybody that wants to use this map of Faerun. Oh yeah, another one is the Rime of the Frost Maiden. Oop, 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 oop. That takes place up here in the Spine of the World, I do believe. Not sure exactly where. 10 towns. I just saw Spine of the World. There we go. Might be up here in the Raid Glacier. Not sure how you pronounce that. Windale. Oh, maybe that's where it takes place. Let's see. Are there 10 towns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 of these, so I'm not sure. Let's see, there is a legend. If I go down, the little castle-y things are a town. I bet that is 10 towns. I bet the Rime of the Frostbane. Oh yeah, Icewind Dale. It sure is. Nice. So looking for a setting, 100% go check out Faerun. There's hours, millions of hours of great stuff, endless. You can do things in the Forgotten Realms or Faerun. Okay? Here's a video that I just stumbled across because I am a nerd, obviously, and I'm kind of interested, like, well, what is the history of Faerun? Where did it come from? At one time, I think I know who invented or wrote the beginnings of it, and if I can remember his name, I'll post it. But it's this really old guy, obviously, with a long gray beard. Let's see if I can get lucky and just Google it. So, watch this. It's called, if you're just listening, on YouTube, D&D Forgotten Realms, featuring Matt Mercer by Lore, and the series is Lore in a Minute. Gives you good outline of the gods that created the world, how races began. Faerun creator. Let's see. Who wrote... Who... I want to say invented, but that's not quite the word. Who invented... Ed Greenwood. That sounds right. So if I Google Ed Greenwood, and there he is, this old dude with a white beard. And this is probably... we'll use this one. Probably the most up-to-date picture of this guy, Ed Greenwood. Does he have a YouTube channel? I think he does. Sure does. If I go to shorts, he had one really weird, funny one. It was kind of like, if I remember correctly, was... Oh, it might be this one. How to flip off your elf. You know, something with elves and... Might be how they make babies. I'm not sure. Just randomly talking. But go check out Ed Greenwood. He's a old dude. One of the originals of the hobby. And he wrote... Faerun. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Where's this quick little blurb here? Commonly referred to by players and game designers as the Realms, it was created by game designer Ed Greenwood around 1967 as a setting for his childhood stories. If you didn't know that, if you learned something, excellent. Where you've been playing tons of Dungeons and Dragons for hours of your life, this guy, Ed Greenwood, he's the one who created it. All right, settings. Here we go. Here's the main topic. Shout out to this guy on itch.io, Lazy Lich. And he's got a small library of awesome stuff here. And I'll just read them. The Toxic Wood, designed for old school essentials, which means like basically any OSR is fine. A Corrosive Hexcrawl adventure. Then he's got The Haunted Hamlet and Other Hexes. 4 low prep modular locations to drop into your game. Okay. After tonight's episode, if you like it, go check this one out too. 4 locations, 4 settings, drop right into your campaign. Woodfall, a dark fantasy mini setting, which is very similar to what we'll be talking about tonight, which is Willow, a grim micro setting. Before I dive deep into that, here's just the itch.io page for Woodfall, and I kind of get like Shel Silverstein vibes from the artwork. Let me see if I can find a good piece of that. Shel Silverstein, who wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends. I think this is right off the cover. And let me open it. I would say a lot, heavily influenced by Shel Silverstein. Okay, $7. Just looking at the artwork. Here's a good picture of map work, a tower, Gert's Wall, the Ravenry, which, dude, I need to put a Ravenry in every campaign I ever work with. Of whatever, like, inspirations I've got from Game of Thrones, how do I not have ravens? A whole raven messenger service? That is just chef's kiss. Okay. You are now leaving the kingdom and entering self-governed witch territory. Funny. I mean, look at this witch hat flag. Death to the kings. Don't die before you have lived. Just super cool. Here's what you get in this. The PDF, actually, that's not what I want. Here we go. It's 92 pages. There's monsters, magic item creation system, hirelings, villains, weird shops, a hex crawl with 12 keyed locations, random tables, flora and fauna, rules for setting changing over time. That's cool. Legal system for the town, and monster hunting content. I don't own this one, but if I find the need for something like this, I would definitely check it out. But the one I do own, Willow, we'll just go through here. It's a grim backwater micro setting made for swords and wizardry rule system, but can easily be used with other old school systems or even 5e. And just to go off on a side tangent here, maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. Any 5e book you buy, play whatever system you want. Now, if you buy like Tasha's Cauldron or Volo's Guide to Monsters, those are like rules specific for 5e usually. But if you buy Curse of Strahd, absolutely run it. Run it using bare bones fantasy. Use it running along the ley line. Why not? All you have to do is just adjust your monsters and adjust perception checks to whatever your system has. All right, side tangent. So, Willow, the setting. Deep in a vast wood, a town called Willow sits beside the Lake of Tears. The lake is framed by weeping willow trees, their vines pouring into the lake's dark green shores. Willow is not what one would call an upbeat town. The rains here are relentless, and the gray skies loom low like a giant cage. Travelers do not linger here long. One night in the Blue Brew Inn is enough to make most jump on the ferry and move on. But recently, the ferries have stopped running as something terrible has taken up residence on the river. Meanwhile, the townfolk will not talk about the noises echoing up from the staircase that descends below the lake. What? There's a staircase below the lake? Nor the broken stone circle on the hill at the edge of town. The town's leader, a witch named Morose Morgan, is a recluse and refuses to leave her island. What do we get here? Hooks and rumors for players, 5 keyed hex locations, random encounters tables, new monsters and monster factions, an aquatic themed dungeon. I'm excited to talk about this NPC relationship web, key NPCs with desires, fears, and mannerisms. When you're building an NPC, we'll talk about it. Oh my god, what a great system here. A mystery to be solved upriver, a shop and inn, town history, timeline of events that happen over time day by day, new magic items, including magical plants, and flowcharts for how the village will react to different actions players take. We're going to get into it. This is amazing. Like, if you were really wanting to sit down and build your own campaign, your own setting, your own whole world, whatever, if you take nothing out of here, if you're like, you know what, I don't like grimdark, I want high fantasy, okay, great. Take the bones from this, take the structure, take the layout, and interject your own stuff. This is going to be just perfect for how you build a setting, how you add flavor and depth to an area. If you can't tell, I'm super excited. This Willow is just awesome. Okay. I currently have it set to 2-page spreads, but I want to see if I can't quickly change that. I changed it right before thinking this is what I wanted, but it's actually not what I wanted. Print document properties. Here we go. Single page view. Okay. Willow, a grim micro setting. And let me get this right, or before I get too far into it. Firefox. Who is the author? It is, okay, yeah, Lazy Lich, but I'm pretty sure they have a real name. Maybe not. I thought I read there was a real name. Maybe in the... Willow by Lazy Lich. Editing by Jerry Hart and Tansy. Special thanks to all my backers. Playtesting. Alright, I guess Lazy Lich. Maybe they are anonymous. Okay. I'm going to talk about the art here. Shel Silverstein, but darker. It looks like people are hanging from the tree, but it's fish. Very cool. And then it's about this lake. It's kind of like flowing, like it's a lake. But then there's the staircase that goes down. And yeah, it's freaking awesome. Okay, so here's the initial hex. Oops, sorry, zooming in and out. We've got forest encounters, river encounters, and then corrupt forest encounters. Forest, spooky forest. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keyed things here. Let's see if we can get into this. How to use this. This zine is a micro setting for pen and paper role-playing games. It is designed to work both as a standalone setting or be plugged into your campaign world. Pull it apart or mine for content for your own sessions. It is statted out for swords and wizardry, but you can easily convert it to your OSR system of choice or even 5e. The setting can also be a starting town, and it was used as such in the campaign it was originally designed for. Alright, that's a good intro. Fitting Willow into your existing game. Playstyle, essentially like, it's an OSR type thing, so get on board with that. Here's a map of Willow, and unfortunately, you're not going to get the full effect here. It takes up 2 pages. But they've got the Blue Brew, Dismal Dans, the Gloom, Heavy Heart, Moreau Morgan, the Wobbly Woe. These are names of ships, the Shrine, the Mill, and Haggard Henge. Very cool. I hope you're getting the vibes here. All right, I'll read the intro here of Willow Town. Deep in a vast wood, a town called Willow sits beside the Lake of Tears. The lake is framed by weeping willow trees. I already read this. Meanwhile, the townfolk will not talk. Oh, got this. Oh, yeah, I read all of that. Never mind. Scratch that. Morose Morgan's rule. 20 years ago, a terrible blight turned all the wheat and potatoes black. The town was becoming a debt as they relied on shipments of food and people were being forced to leave. Just then, an old witch turned up in town and cast a ritual that removed the blight. Although the residents disliked magic, they exonerated her as a hero and offered that she take up residence on the island. Every year, Morgan performed rituals to help the crops, and her power and authority grew steadily. She became the de facto leader of Willow. Now, I'm not going to read every single thing on here. It's 36 pages, but I think that was important. All right, talks about the town's legal system. Says there's no guards or soldiers. The economy. Everyone in Willow is a homesteader or artisan. A small amount of silver and copper circulates in the town, with some moving in and out from trade. Every year, the residents gather in the center of town and cancel out all their debts against each other. Well, isn't that swell? All right. Hooks. Reasons why players end up stuck in Willow. Rumors about Willow Town. This one I don't necessarily get a huge vibe out of this, but weather and key descriptors. Like I said, it's grim, so nothing's happy here. Dreary, somber, bitter, melancholic, sorrowful, woeful. And there's never sun here. It's cloudy, it's rainy, it's misty, it's foggy. All right. We've got Morose Morgan is the leader. This is the witch that came to town. She lives on an island alone. Morgan only comes ashore to give offerings of fish in the shrine, perform the annual land fertility ritual, or adjudicate serious problems. She solves all disputes by gutting a fish and reading its entrails. She cannot be fooled. So every NPC here, they've got that little description, and then super cool stuff here. What does she want? Maintain tradition, keep people out of the seaweed shrine, and solve the mystery upriver. What is she doing now? 1. Hanging fresh fish on the willow trees. 2. Gardening at her house. Okay. Known for her house, what's inside her house? A quaint cottage with a pantry stocked with cheese, smoked fish, ale, and bread. 3 potions of healing, a box containing 80 gold, a magic book containing a ritual to help crops grow. Okay. Tells you their story, their motivations, and points of interest. Great. What are things it's missing? Maybe an accent. Maybe the demeanor. I think with these what does she wants, that kind of helps. The picture, you can use that to help frame your, if you, what am I looking for? Speak in an accent, or if you speak, your NPCs each have different voices. You can hopefully use the pictures to help you there. I do just a little bit. It's not quite my forte. We've got 3 NPCs, 6 NPCs. At the bottom of these are boats that are around here. The Gloom, the Heavy Heart, and the Wobbly Woe. I am a huge fan of alliteration. 1, I think they're funny. 2, I think they're funny. And 3, my players remember them. The Blue Brew. The Blue Brew is the only inn in Willow. Normally very quiet, it has now become a semi-permanent home to a number of guests who are trapped in Willow. Cool. How many rooms? The menu, what they cost. Dwindling supplies. Tells you about problems that the inn is having, like their motivations. Very cool. People that are staying here, the guests. Not as thorough of NPCs, but people that are there. Rumors. Creative here. I mean, this whole Willow thing is amazing, but your tavern should have rules. I was reading a Facebook post for a group I'm in, and it was like, how do I make my taverns different? I've got a town with 3 taverns. What can I do to make them different? And I posted and I said, okay, you should have like a McDonald's, cheap. You should have a what did I say? Like Applebee's. I'm not, trust me, I'm not saying Applebee's is great, but it's a step up from McDonald's. And then have some like elite type restaurant or pub. Everything is priced at 3 different levels, and there are different levels of problems. You can kind of think of it as like easy, medium, and hard. If you're at the McDonald's, there are rumors that like a chicken was eaten by a wolf. So they go on a wolf hunt. They go to the Applebee's, and it's a child is missing. Okay. You go to the high-end restaurant, and I've been tasked with a problem from the king. And the players are there, and they happen to hear rumors of a big score. And so, maybe they're not even let in to the big tavern. They don't know the password. They're not cut from the same cloth as these people, so they're not let in. They aspire to get to this tavern. And that's where the big secrets are. That's where the big treasures are. All right. Whew. Okay. All right, here we go. The Haggard Hill, the Mill, all of the descriptions. The Treehouse. Willow. This is so cool. Willow Town cause and effect list. I saw this, blew my mind. If you want to go into detail for a town you're building, yes, a cause and effect. Please, please, please. This is so cool. I'll just read a couple. I'll just do the first 2. All right. If the players steal something, then they pay a heavy fine unless it's food, in which case they are exiled. Amazing. It's so simple, but amazing. Often, especially my students, like, I'm not prepared when they want to do things, and they'll often steal. And so I'm always flustered in the moment. I should be prepared. I should have, a list of things. Okay, if you want to steal, fine. And, if they pass a check, that's fine. I totally get it. But, if they're stealing something here in Willow, find the time, find the opportunity, and yep, 10:30. I've been trying to hold that yawning for a while here. As I mentioned before, the town, they get together and they square their debts. And so maybe, I think it said once a year, but maybe today's the day. They're working inventory, and everybody comes together, and the whatever they stole from says, I'm missing the bread. I baked 12 today. I only had 11. Every NPC that's there says, nope, not me. You didn't see me at your shop. You didn't see me. And then it's, well, the players are here. My new players are here. These new visitors are here. What do you have to say for yourself? And again, maybe they pass their checks and they don't get caught, but it's a great role-playing opportunity. Second one, if your players flaunt cash, they will be made fun of and will get repeated charity requests. Small town, it's usually favors. Hey, can you make me this blanket? I'll give you a dozen eggs. They say some cash is back and forth, but it's not really what they do here. So if you come in and you say, I'm so rich, look at me, people are going to say, what do you need money for? Money's no good out here. Like Watto in Star Wars. Republic credits aren't good here. Republican credits are just fine. Republican credits will work. No, they won't. I'm a nerd. Okay. Keep her moving. Oh, okay. This is one of those things that you're like, yeah. I'll make one of these, or yeah. I should make one of these, but relationship prompts. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NPCs. How do they get along with each other? Is there, there sure is, right here. Friendly, intimidated by, have never met. Family, hostile, secretly in love with, owes a favor and distrust. Rakel secretly fears Tina's predictions. Rakel, only people who speak Elvish. Look at this web. Just wild. And so, again, these are things that you just think like, oh yeah, we have all these people, but at least for me, they're disjointed. Like, okay, well, the leather worker, he's just the leather worker, and then he goes home and he's done. You know, it's not like he goes and buys lunch at the inn too. That can't happen, but it should. These people all live together, so they should interact with each other. All right, another interesting thing here is that there are crow folk, rat folk, and okalisk. And I'll just read these quickly. Crow folk. The residents of Willow are extremely suspicious of the crow folk, who have made several attempts to befriend the villagers. If Willow residents are desperate, they might work with crow folk. And if I scroll down, here are kind of a vague picture of crow folk. There are rat folk, wizards. Let's see. Somewhere I thought I saw a picture of crow folk, but I don't see it at the ready. Nope. Oh, what is it? Okay, here we go. Yeah. Here's the crow folk, what they look like. Here are rat folk. Here are cool art. Does it give an okalesk? Is this like an ent? I think so. Let's see. Once a lawful guardian of the forest. Oh, hang on. This is where it's confusing with just one page here. Well, let me go back. I got off track. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Okay. The Seaweed Shrine. All right, so let's just recap where we're at so far. We got a town, we got businesses, we got NPCs. NPCs have motivations, and relationships with each other. Okay? That's already all you need. But wait, there's more. All right, the Seaweed Shrine. Behind the Blue Brew, a mysterious staircase leads deep underground below the Lake of Tears. Nobody from Willow besides Maurice Morgan is allowed down. The shrine was the home of a race of aquatic elves 100 years ago who called themselves the Coral Court. Again, alliteration. A sickness struck the elves, and in desperation, they used dark magic to transform themselves into undead so their culture would survive. Creatures of the surrounding wood would steer clear of the shrine because the elves were dangerous. When the elves went dormant 50 years ago, humans settled and built Willow around the shrine, unaware of the danger. The shrine is worked out of a blue coral rock, and dark seaweed grows thickly on the damp floors. Water drips everywhere, and it's very cold inside. The elves have nearly lost all their memories, mindlessly repeating the actions of their former lives. Again, remember, they're undead. Okay? And we've got at least 14, 15, 16 numbered rooms here. They're all keyed out. Prison cell, painting room, prison cell, I already said that. Eel room, guardian room. Okay? And here's descriptions of all of them. Perfect. All right. Dungeon monsters, aquatic elf skeleton, aquatic elf skeleton mage. It's got a brief description. These royal members of the Coral Court have glowing pale blue lights in their eye sockets. Here we have hit dice 1, AC 10, move speed, save. I'll be honest, I don't know ALNCL. This is again old school. Oh no, wizards. What is it called? Wizardry. How to use swords and wizardry is what it's for. So I'm not 100% sure at the moment, but if I was really interested, I'd figure it out and then tweak it however I needed to, 5th edition, etc. Okay, so basically all the monsters for the Sea Weed Shrine. Okay, then we've got another big dungeon coming up here. The Forbidden Forest. Nestled in the woods sits the ruins of a fortress. Hundreds of years ago, the fort was occupied by elves as an outpost for an ancient kingdom. The fort was attacked by a dragon, whose breath melted large holes in the towers. The dragon fire also scorched an ancient oak, which the fort was constructed around. The oak survived and was transformed into a magical dragonwood tree. A huge set of footprints lead from the forest to the center of the fort, left by the necrotic Trent. All right, and that must be the dude that we saw. Going through, we've got, let's see, in the Forbidden Fortress, the tree, the fort, smoke dragon, wizard tower. Let's see. What the wizard wants. Obtain potion ingredients, obtain more books, upgrade their security. I know I'm jumping around here. Let's see. Forbidden Fortress. Let me go back up here to this hex. The Forbidden Fortress. Is there a hex that matches? I am looking for... Alright, this one with the 2 towers and the tree guy thing in the middle. Do we have that here? We do not. So I don't... Oh, yeah, right here. The color scheme is different. So that's what this hex is right here. Got it. Okay. This next one, I believe, is the Wizard's Tower. This tree here. Let's verify that. Yep. All right. So that is what is in that hex. All right. There's the Crow Folk. They have their hex. Let's see. Monsters there. All right, and then we're almost done already. I don't want to read everything, which I'm not, but okay. Near the end here, Overland Monsters. Here we go. Next part. Timeline of possible events. All right, so we've got this town. These towns are filled with buildings. Buildings have NPCs. Surrounding area, we've got, I think it was 5, 6 things going on. The Wizard's Tower, Haunted Forest, the Seaweed something underneath. So what are we going to do? What can players do while we're here? Sure, it can be super sandbox and they can go and talk and do whatever they want. Or you can lay these thoughts down, these tasks, these ideas, day one. The granary is robbed by rat folk at night. The Trent plants 5 wailing willow tree saplings on the riverbank. A fisher catches a dead fish that is still alive. You got 1, 2, 3 things going on day one. That makes sense. There's a good number of people here at Willow. It's not like they're all doing one thing. Let's jump down to day 10. The 5 wailing willow saplings planted on day 1 mature. That's funny, I just randomly picked it. Villagers will agree to hand over all their books if the wizards deliver the hostages back with some food. The wizards agree. Sonya drowns in room 2 of the seaweed shrine unless stopped or the unless trap in that room was already activated. That seems like a typo. Aloria and Gerard build poison dart traps in the entrances to the seaweed shrine and post skeleton guards. All right, so you're going to want to read this in order for sure, because that most likely didn't make sense. How many days do we have? We have 15 days with multiple things going on at once. So we've got a setting, hexes, named locations, NPCs, quality NPCs with motivations. We've got dungeon, and we've got built-in rumors and stuff to do. Random treasure, basic, advanced, and rare. However you want to do this, however you want to do it. They explore, they go talk to the wizards. The main witch rewards players with something. Great, we've got 60 different items on here. And that takes us to our last page. Dismal Dan's Supplies. Here's the store. Well, if you're adventurers, you need adventuring gear. There it is. How much are in stock, what they cost. We've got a bucket, oil, a scythe, spade, cowbell. Love it. I mean, what do you need a cowbell for? Players will find a use for it. Empty glass. Great. 36 pages, $5. Drop in your setting. Make this a one-shot. Make this your world. Fill in. I mean, what more do you want? Like I said before, if you don't like the grim darkness of it, use the layout. This is how it should be done. This is a quality setting. Now, let me go back to Faerun here, the map of Faerun. This is huge. This is ginormous. No player will ever explore all of this. I mean, okay, yes, it's possible. It can. I get it. And what Willow was, let me just randomly zoom in here. Like, Willow could be this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll say 7 or 8 hexes. All right, out of the 1,000 plus hexes that are here, right? This is ginormous. If this is what you want to build, hey, great, go for it. If this is the world you want your story to take place in, more power to you. But you're going to need to fill it with stuff. And I think Willow by Lazy Lich on itch.io, $5. Come on. Worth every penny to me. I've already gone over it, right? Named locations, buildings, NPCs, relationships. This is how it should be done. This is a masterclass in setting design. Well done. Kudos. All right. Probably a shorter episode. Mine tend to be an hour. I didn't set my timer again, but I highly doubt we're at an hour. So that's it. Go check out Willow. Go check out the Lazy Lich on itch.io. Let me pull it up here one more time. The Lazy Lich. Go check out all this stuff. Awesome, awesome stuff. All right. Do something creative. Add this to your game. Make this a one-shot. Do something with it. Keep being creative, and we'll see you in the next episode. Later.